What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Daniel's Sports Ledger, sports betting tips and picks for sports bettors. We got a good one.
Yeah. I mean, this. Let's just be realistic. Football on Thursday, 3 games starting in the morning. Can't lie, man. It's going to be exciting. The only problem that we have is there ain't going to be no pubs open in the morning. You know how I feel about that. Where am I supposed to watch the game? We all know.
Right.
God, frustrating. But no, I'm super excited.
So, bad week for me.
I heard about that.
First 0-3. Well, as the lines changed, some of my games ended up winning, but whatever. So 0-3, that puts me at 22-12 free picks. That's still dang good.
That's actually phenomenal. But the games this weekend, or I apologize, last weekend, I mean, they just shifted for the worse. Everything just kind of went every other which way. The Chargers. But
finally let me down. Let me down.
But I tell you what, a little prelim to what's happening. I'm hopping right back on.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Tell you what.
Okay, well, we'll see.
And then, of course, for myself, parlay didn't hit if you went all 7. There was absolutely no reason why you would have went straight bets on my money lines. They were just phenomenal in terms of the money that you had to put up in order to hit them. So if you parlayed it, we hit 5 out of 7. We hit the Raiders, most importantly. But, of course, the Chargers let us down, and then the Chiefs. What happened? Couldn't catch a ball. Jeez. I heard they lead the league in drop catches.
Yeah. Well, like I said from the beginning of the year, their receivers are not good.
Yeah. I mean, the balls, we're talking in the numbers. Back in my prime, I'm making those catches.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Thanksgiving ball, I'll make all of those.
Oh, man, I'm making every catch out there. But, yeah, unfortunately, the Chiefs let us down just based on catches. The Chargers didn't show up.
Yeah.
I mean, something's got to change. They're going to start making a couple of adjustments, I'm assuming. But this week's game, I feel like, is going to be a great game. So I'm looking forward to it. Baltimore is coming into L.A. and traveling from the east to west. Chargers got a little redemption, I feel like it. I tell you what, I think that's going to be a good game.
Yeah. Oh, I'm looking forward. I think it's going to be an interesting clash of styles.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Should be fun.
Well, we're short for a little bit of time here. We're actually doing our podcast on a Wednesday. Yeah. Football kicks off tomorrow. We got the holiday week ahead of us. So we're just trying to put something together real quick. We did get a little bit of studying done. We got some teams. We got some locks. I feel like you're going to make a great comeback this week. Yeah. 0-3 is just unheard of.
Yeah. I mean, it happens to everybody once in a while.
Of course.
You know, but we say when we're wrong,
right?
But take accountability.
But here's the thing, and like we stated before in the previous podcast, our podcast last week was done on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
So with that being said, many line adjustments were created before the actual game. So if you don't tune in, he's taken the 0-3. But in actuality, he actually won some of those games as the lines adjusted. But when we placed them, the lines were pretty set at what it was. And then, of course, throughout the week, like I said, if you message the guy, communicate, maybe he puts a little something out on a little TikTok or Instagram to readjust. But everything's always changing. So you got to be well aware of the line changes.
And by the end of the week, I almost never am down money. I'm always up. It's just, if my first couple of games go sour, I pick up something else. Mm-hmm. And so that's why you should hit me up, because, you lose a couple. Hey, well, what are you picking up to get the money back?
Right.
Hit me up and
it's Rebound City, baby.
I'll work with you.
Of course.
And you can hit me up at D Sports Ledger on, you can message me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. And
he's available.
Yeah, we can respond.
There's plenty of times when I've took some diggers and I hit you up and just like, hey, BD, What you got, man? I need something. Let me just get a rebound. I just want to win. I don't even care if it's gonna make me profit, if it's just gonna get me down. I'll still be down a touch, but just a little something to kind of give me a little picker upper, because sometimes you just need to just get rolling in that right direction.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You get some confidence back.
That's it. So don't ever want to quit.
All right. So who are you liking this week?
Well, I got a lot of picks. Once again, I'm going with another parlay. Then, of course, I got a 3-teamer. Then I got some straight picks. So I'm kind of all around. But in terms of NFL, that's where I want to focus right now. So, but before we go into it, I just want to make sure we all know that there is a humongous college game on this weekend.
Definitely.
It's Ohio State versus Michigan. And where's it being played? Michigan.
That's right. The big house.
So, of course, I know my buddy's a little biased.
Yep.
The spread is only 3. It's a scary spread. I know we'll talk a little bit more about that after we kind of go through our NFL picks. But let me just jump right into it. I'm real basic. I look at the slate on Thursday, and I see Detroit, Dallas, and 49ers playing.
Yeah. Some
of the hottest teams right now. I'm money lining them. I'm just going to money line them. It's that easy. Throw them down on a 3-teamer money line, but I don't end there. I like to bump it up a little bit. So we're going to go with a 6-teamer. We're taking Detroit, Dallas, Niners, teams that are just rolling over other teams. We got Debo, I believe, is going to be back for the Niners. I mean, they're looking tough. And then, of course, we're going to go with the Bills. They're getting 3.5. It's going to be a tough game. I fully admit that.
Yeah.
But I just think the Bills show up and they beat an Eagles teams like we talked about. They were struggling to win games. They do find a way to win. And let's say they do find a way to win this game. They still need to cover 3.5. So if we go to overtime, Eagles kick a field goal for the win like they have been.
Yeah.
We're still covering the game. So then we're going to move forward with the team that we're just never going to give up on. It's the Chargers. So I'm taking the Chargers. This Ravens team is tough.
Yeah.
But if they're so tough, why are they only getting 3.5? I know they're traveling across country. But I'm telling you, man, if my buddy lights it up from the quarterback position and he just gets going, Herbert, the Chargers are gonna just roll, man. They're gonna take care of business, start moving. I feel like that last game was a little bit of a step back, maybe an eye opener. Like, hey, man, let's get going. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? Why are we in 3rd place in this division? How are the Lord forgive me? How are the Raiders ahead of us? We have a phenomenal quarterback, a phenomenal running back. There's no way we should be 3rd. If anything, we should be fighting for 1st in that division. So with that being said, I'm taking the Chargers, also plus 3.5. Game could keep really close, come down to a field goal. If it moves to 3, possible push. If you can get it at 3.5 right now, definitely run with it. And then for that final 6 pick, we going with those Raiders. I mean, man, can we lose a spread? No, we cover, and we cover. We might not win the game, but we cover. I'm taking the Raiders. Kansas City, I hope Mahomes goes down and stays down. But you're giving us 8.5. I love that number. I really do. Could be a late cover type situation where it's just a battle. Kansas City goes up 14. We kick a field goal. Now we're down 11. Then Mahomes turns it over like he always does. We get in range. We score a touchdown. KC wins. Either way, we cover. So with that being said, that's my 6-teamer. Now, if you want to go ahead and do straight bets on the Raiders, Bills, Chargers, I would highly recommend it, throwing a little something on that. Not going to get much profit on the Detroit-Dallas 49ers if you do money line, but pin them all together, see what happens. You're looking at about a plus 1308. Then if you throw Ohio and the over on that, you're popping it up to about 4554. So if you throw $100 on that, dude, it's possible $4,000. Something to think about. And there you go.
All right. Other than the Ohio pick, I like it. You know what? I gotta stick true with my Big Blue, Michigan. But
I like that. That's a little rhyme right there.
Yeah.
I gotta stay true with Big Blue.
That's right. But yeah. So I like this week. I like this week. You know, Thanksgiving week tends to favor the players over Vegas for some reason. It always seems to be a good week for me, at least. And Thanksgiving week is the number one week in sports. You end up having, for sports books, you end up having every sport. You get hockey games, you get college basketball, you get NBA, you get pro football, college football.
And then, of course, we're just going to leave baseball out because
you don't get baseball. That's the only one. But
who needs it?
But Thanksgiving weekend is actually every year it's the most bet time of the year. I don't know people other than Super Bowl, but Super Bowl is one game. So for the actual entire weekend, Thanksgiving weekend is the biggest weekend in sports betting every single year.
Man, that's phenomenal.
And I know that because I worked for the sports books.
There you go.
So so I got, we're gonna get some redemption this week. I got like 2 games tomorrow. First one I like Detroit at home to cover the 9. Thanksgiving Day, Detroit tradition. Green Bay at Detroit. Detroit had kind of a down game last week, but they'll get it back.
Yeah, but let's go back to you have a -9. Is that correct? And then the actual. So
the line is -7.5.
Right.
I have them as -9. So I like them to cover. And then the next one I like Dallas. -12.5. They've just been on a run. They've just been rolling teams.
They're finding it. And the one thing I love about Dallas is regular season, they handle business. It's nice to bet on them.
And they always roll teams on Thanksgiving.
Of course.
I remember that was like the T.O. had 4 touchdowns for him one Thanksgiving. Michael Irving had 4 touchdowns going way back. I mean, they just roll teams on Thanksgiving.
They show up.
Yeah, so it's in Dallas. They always have the big old Salvation Army bucket that Dak, not Dak, but Zeke would jump in every year.
All right.
So, they always be blowing teams out.
Yeah. I feel like that's kind of like the easy pick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's okay.
Yeah, I really do. I mean, I'm not saying you're taking an easy way out, but for anyone who doesn't take it, it's like, why would you not take Dallas on Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Yeah. Made no sense.
And then my third pick, I haven't picked this team all year, and everyone knows I'm not a big fan of Tua trash. But I'm taking Miami. I'm taking Miami to cover the 9.5 against the Jets. That'll be my third game.
Yeah.
So for my redemption. And then I have a bonus pick.
I like this.
And everyone knows from week 1 we've been riding this team. Yes, and this is the team. You might not give up on the Chargers, but I'm not giving up on this team.
Okay.
Even though they're down the quarterback. And Cleveland, I said they'd win last week. They didn't cover, but they did win.
Right.
Even without their quarterback. So I like Cleveland to cover they're actually underdogs, so you can take a money line to win outright at Denver. So that's my bonus pick.
Yeah, a lot of people are jumping on Denver, and I admit myself, and I hate Denver. I hate Kansas City, and I hate the Chargers. But with that being said, dude, I mean, it's Denver's playing.
Yeah.
I mean, the coach and the quarterback are linked up, feels like it. So, I mean, but they haven't played a defense like this Cleveland defense.
I know. It's ridiculous.
I'll tell you, this is going to be something different. This is definitely going to be a test. The spread is super close. It's like 1.5.
Yeah.
I mean, you're pretty much talking out of pick 'em. I mean, it's just Denver at home, and they're only giving up 1.5. I mean, it's just Cleveland probably goes in there and handles business. That defense gets a couple big turnovers. I could see it. Miles has a great game.
To me, the most interesting game for sure this week is going to be Bills and Philly. Bills and the Eagles. And I know I'm biased. I like Bills to win that game. I'm not giving that out as a pick, but we looked up the scores, and all the Bills' losses have been by one possession,
right?
6 points or less, and almost every Eagles game,
same thing.
All but two of them, have been one possession, win or lose,
right?
And all the Bills' losses have been one possession. So this is going to be an interesting game. The Eagles haven't played their best football.
No.
The Bills haven't played their most, but they're both starting to kind of figure it out now.
Right.
I like Joe Brady as the offensive coordinator now for the Bills, letting Josh Allen be himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard something about Tua, about how he infused so much confidence, the coach did in Tua, and that's what really gave Tua his ability to be as good as he's being. So,
right.
And you used to hear that about Josh Allen. Josh Allen used to talk about going out on the field. It's his field. He owns the field, and he just has to have all this confidence.
Right.
And I feel like with this new coordinator, you could almost see the confidence coming back inside of him. It was almost like he was being held captive, not being able to be himself. And now that he needs to play like it's his backyard. Just go out there and throw it around, kind of like Brett Favre back in the day. Don't give him all these restrictions and rules. Just let the guy go out and sling the football and do what he does.
Gunslinger.
And when he does that, he gets his confidence back. He gets, he zips him in there.
Amen.
And he plays better. So I think the Bills are on the right direction now. And the Eagles, they still haven't played their best game.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. We're going to really see, I think, what the direction of these teams is going to be the next few weeks.
Right. And that's why we're going Bills. We're taking Bills on the points. Say that. But, I mean, you're probably obviously going to money line it. He's not giving the pick out.
No.
But before the weekend is over, check Daniel's sports betting. And, there'll be a Bills money line on there somewhere.
There might be. We'll see how tomorrow goes.
Yeah.
If I come up a lot of money, I'll throw $100 down on
easy. No big deal. And then for my interesting game, I mean, I just got to go with the young guns. I'm going Jags against Houston. That game is going to exhibit two of the most potentially driven quarterbacks.
That's another fun game.
Yeah, Stroud and what's the kid's name from Clemson? I could see him. I can't remember his name.
Trevor
Lawrence, who is actually one of my favorite quarterbacks. He's a stud, but CJ Stroud is doing something right. Is it CJ?
Yeah,
CJ Stroud is just doing something right now that is just phenomenal. He's winning games. He's throwing the rock. He's getting touchdowns. He's limiting his interceptions. He looks like a young Josh Allen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Going back to that list restriction mentality, he's just going out there throwing it, fighting players, winning games, given he played against a really horrible Arizona team last week.
Well, I'll tell you what. So I watched quite a bit of that game.
Mm-hmm.
And that pass to Tank Dell.
Oh.
Where I rewound that play and watched it a few times.
Hold on real quick. Is it rewound?
Yeah, rewind.
Is it? I think you said rewound.
Yeah, that's like.
Is that? Are you sure?
So there's rewind and then.
Rewound? I rewounded it. Do you say rewounded it? Let's not get carried away. Go ahead, buddy.
I don't know. We can look into that. But so I rewinded that play a few times. However you want me to say it. And so I mean it was a curl route for him to come back to the ball. And he just points him to no, just keep going, keep going. So he stops, runs out again, and he just throws this dime. I mean, the entire play was so good, and it really shows how good Stroud is already. I mean, you've got quarterbacks that have been in the league 10 years that don't even have communicate and throw a pass like that. It was incredible. And by the way, that Tank Dell guy, he is good. Yeah. If I play fantasy next year, I'm taking him.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a little fantasy one of these years.
I ran a fantasy league for like 15 straight years.
Did you ever? You won a couple years.
Oh, I won a lot of times.
Yeah.
Probably like 6 or 7 out of 15 years. But then but I haven't done it for like 5 years.
That's a lot of time and effort. And we're just so busy. I mean,
need to get back into it though.
But to really just sit
when we
down
get this going next year, we'll do a podcast one with the fans.
Oh, that would actually be really good.
Yeah.
We could do like a little live draft or something
like
that.
We'll do
we could do a podcast while we're doing our draft.
We'll do a prize or whatever for them, whoever wins.
Yeah.
Give out some game tickets or something.
Mm-hmm. That sounds pretty good. But yeah, so anyway, that's going to be my game to watch. I'm going with the Jags. I think the Jags pull up the upset, go in there, take care of business. I mean, technically they're the favored with Vegas, but according to Daniel's analog and his mathematical schemes, he's got them down as a underdog by 2. So, I mean, I don't discredit it. I love going against the odds. I love with the back against the wall. And I think Jags go out there and handle business. I really think they do. It's played in Houston.
Yeah.
But Trevor Lawrence is a monster. And they took a tough loss to the 49ers last week. They're on the dube out. Like they're going to bounce back. They're going to play it tough. Maybe they don't get the win. But if I tell you what, if anything, take the over.
I lean towards the Jags.
Yeah.
Just from experience.
Mm-hmm.
That Houston offense is super potent, but they're all really young. So, and the Jags, they've got some experience on their team. So, I like the Jags in that game, but just as a lean.
Right, it's slight. I mean, it would be just as lean. I tell you what, like I said before, I
wouldn't bet it till halftime. I would see how it starts playing out, and then I might throw a bet on it.
Yeah. Like I said before, I mean, I think the over would just be good. You got 2 quarterbacks who are just going to throw it out.
Yeah.
They're going to run. They're going to throw it out. They're both fighting for a solid. I think they're 1 and 2 respectively in their division. I really do. So yeah, it's going to be a great game. Now, will I touch them? Probably not. But definitely want to watch it somewhere.
Yeah, definitely going to watch that one. Let's see. What is the over-under here? 48.5. That's pretty high.
It is pretty high. I always love the old 49.5 for to go over, but 48 is, I like that. I think it probably pops over.
By the way, last week I talked about how Vegas likes to give out tons of stats to like confuse people. So I got this thing from BetMGM, this little notification right before the Eagles-Chiefs game. And it was like, hey, place a bet before the game starts on the over-under. Over 60% of the money is on the over in this game. So it was telling me where everyone was putting the money.
All right.
And, of course, the game went under. Jeez. So it's one of those things where Vegas, with these statistics, they're trying to bait you. That's why people look at, this is where the sharp money is. And I've talked about this many times on my podcast before. But people talk about the sharp money and the public money. Typically, the way people discern that is they say, okay, there's less total tickets, but more money on this side. So that's where the sharp money is. Because the public is the majority of the tickets, but it still ends up being less money.
Right.
So when it's the opposite, where it's like fewer tickets and more money, sharps are putting more money down. So they say, okay, the sharps are on this side. But here's the thing. Some guy from Australia comes down and puts $1 million on his favorite team. You can't quantify who's putting the money on the tickets.
Right.
So if you can't quantify a statistic, then you can't use that statistics for any value. It doesn't mean anything. So that's why I always tell to people, when you get these cappers, oh, this is the sharp money, this is the bull crap. Unless you know actual sharp, actual professional bettors, and I know a guy in Tampa Bay, one of the top professional bettors in the world. If you know a guy and you talk to a guy on the phone, if you're actually talking to professional people and they're telling you this is who I'm betting on, that's something you can quantify. But you can't look at imaginary tickets and say, oh, this must be pro betting and this must be. You don't know. You have no idea. And so don't use a statistic that you can't actually quantify.
Wow. Preach. I'll tell you what, no, that's powerful. That's powerful. I'll tell you what, if you're getting into this game and you want to start dabbling and this is something you're definitely interested in, it's got a hold of you in a sense, that's a very powerful fact because you're going to get thrown tons of statistics. And you might be going through a tough time in terms of your betting. You might be losing. Someone's like, well, majority of the time, yada, yada, yada. He's right, man. You got to be careful. That's powerful, man. That's really good. You articulated. Well, let me rephrase that. You articulated that really well. Like it's almost if that was scripted, and it's not. I'm not saying it was. Well, I'm not trying to be, but I'm saying that was fabulous.
I've said it so many times.
Oh, okay.
That it flows. You know what I mean?
That was phenomenal, man.
So,
that's some good stuff. You're not going to get that in many places.
I'm just waiting for like 30 years from now, somebody's going to take all these podcasts. They'll be like, okay, I took all these little tips out of Daniel Sports Legends podcast and I put them all together and I have the winning formula for you guys. And I'm selling you this CD for $20.
Yes. I love it.
These are all the tricks to help you win in sports betting.
I love it.
But for real, if you listen to this podcast enough, you're going to get little bits and pieces every now and then like this that are going to help you.
A little bit of gold.
A little bit of gold. I mean, we gave out a massive one a few weeks ago. I'm not going to talk about it, but it was about baseball.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so it's good. I mean, just know what you're looking at. Think it through.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, when you watch this, just remember, Pinky, the brain. Pinky, the brain. So you want to dabble, you want to have some fun, you want to throw some dough around, you want to hit a maybe possible big hitter, you might hit it, man. But that's where I come into play. That's what I love. That's what I do. I give you the tips that I like. Some of them are hitters. We've been killing it with the Raiders. We killed it. I literally have bankroll set because of the Browns in week 1 where we took them plus 9.5 and they were underdogs by whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
And we're rolling off that. So, I mean, you just never know. But then when it comes down to really, magnifying your picks and really getting down to some good stuff, I'm telling you, this guy has got the winners. You follow him, you're winning. If you have been, the numbers speak for themselves. You're definitely winning. He had one bad week. Bounce back city, baby.
What's this one? I just scored myself.
I just scared myself from going to the woods today.
I was listening to an old story.
And now I'm scared. I don't know.
Fear.
Let's get into fear. No, I'm just joking.
Well, I could talk about that for a while.
I love the woods. We're from the country, by the way.
Yep.
Well, quick little recap. Like I said before, I'm taking a 6-teamer. It's real quick. Thursday games are, to me, it's just so easy. Detroit, Dallas, Niners. Lock them up on the money line. Don't even stress. Eat your turkey. Have your beers. Enjoy the game. Sweat a little bit on Sunday. Raiders, Bills, Chargers. We're taking the spreads. We're underdogs. We're going to go in. Chances are we're probably going to win all 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
he looking at me with those anti-Raider eyes. He like, good luck with it. I'll tell you what, man. If we don't win, we're covering because that's what we do. We've been covering. We've been winning. So 16, it's real quick. Chargers, Bills, Raiders, 9, Dallas, Detroit. And then if you want to throw and sprinkle a little bit of dough in there, take Ohio.
Take Michigan. Oh, man. So I'm going Detroit to cover, Dallas to cover, Miami to cover, and then as a bonus pick, taking Cleveland on the money line to win outright.
I like that.
And Michigan. I'm taking Michigan. I'm taking Michigan minus the 3.
Man, I tell you what, you're going to be
it.
so scared giving those 3 points.
I'm going to sweat it out, but I'm
you're
going to
sweat it out, man, because Ohio State is tough. Harrison?
You want to take a little risky parlay, throw like $100 on it. Bills money line and the Michigan to cover. You sweat those games out. It'll pay good though.
It will. That'd be a phenomenal pick. I like it.
Oh man, that'll be fun.
All right, man. It was a pleasure. I love your energy this week. Everything seems like we're back A-OK. And we're looking forward to see you guys week 13. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Check out for some updates on the website.
Right.
We're going to update it.
Yep, because there's going to be there's games all week. So the Monday night's going to be a stellar game as well. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Eventually we'll get a set day and time for the podcast, but we're working on it.
No doubt.
But, life, we got busy lives,
That's it.
What can you do about it? All right, guys. As always, let's make some money.
Let's have fun doing it.
That's right.